down the line. And you see Dignitas, these guys feed off of the adrenaline, and that's exactly what we're expecting to see here today.
Well, we get 5 games today, and the game 1 picks and bans are underway. Raw with the first ban from Dignitas, and an instant response with Morrigan from Rival.
This is just perfect at the top level of SMITE play. Some gods are strong, but the players are stronger. Wolfie has proven time and time again that his Raw cannot be trifled with. And Morrigan has been Zero's go-to whenever he wants to destroy somebody. Bam, right out.
Osiris Vanderway, one of the strongest solo laners right now in SMITE. And Sol, one of the most comfortable picks for Zeros in that mid lane. The problem is, after they've left Fafnir open here, will Dig look to take that away from Callus, or are they going to have to try and play around him?
I don't mind if Dignitas go for the first pick here. Trickstang does very well with aggressive supports, and we all know how Fafnir works on the side of Callus, so I would like to see that first selection. As far as the bans go, I think Rival knocked it out of the park. The Zeros, Morrigan has so much utility. That's what Zeros brings in the mid lane. That Soul, you leave the window open a tiny bit, and you lost your tower because of how strong she is. Wonderful attention to detail there. Dignitas, however, ban out Bologna.
Oh, pick Bologna, not ban it out. They're going to give that one over to Variety, because what else do you want to give him?
You know, slip of the tongue, but taking it away from Deathwalker, just as important as taking it yourself.
Or he could go Getwalker. We'll see if that does come out. But there is the legendary Fafnir for Callus once again. He's on his most comfortable god. I was talking to Trickstank before these games took place today. He was like, listen, he's got a great Fafnir.
Right.
And even though Fafnir is weaker now, the problem is that he's just so good at this god, it doesn't matter. He's still impactful.
That's the key. I was talking to some North American players, and the tier list matters until it doesn't. When you're playing here at this level of competition, I mean, Kronos is the god that died, right, guys? Boom. He's 3rd pick here at our summer finals next to the Raven that Dignitas is likely going to put in the hands of their jungler.
Raven and Kronos, as you say, have been locked in. Kronos is flexible to the Hunter position, but we don't see Arkill playing that much. We normally see that Zeros in mid.
Yeah, I almost want to say definitely going to Zeros. But however, on the other side, we see Bobo the dog. That's yours, right?
Once upon a time, indeed. And I believe that will possibly go over to Deathwalker in that solo lane up against Variety's Bologna. And the only problem with that is, like, Erlang Shan kind of struggles against being disarmed because he's very auto-attack based on.
On the flip side, Erlang Shan can absolutely interrupt the bludgeon coming out from Bologna. Turtle form, and Bologna can't exactly hit those minions with the hammer, so I like both sides of it.
Into the counterban phase, and immediately Rival will take away Geb. Obviously, they don't want to give something something too comfortable on. And with the lineup they have drafted so far, it's double warrior. So another frontline tank is going to be a real tricky issue to deal with.
I love looking at Wolfie's posture here on the side of Rival. He's leaning back, he's cool, calm, and collected. This sort of a mentality is what keeps Rival afloat here, and I'm very excited to see how it translates in a game. There he is on the left side of the screen, just ready to go, not overdoing it.
Laid back, relaxed, yet definitely still comfortable enough to play the game when it's required. Odin has been banned out in response by Dig, and these guys will take a long time with these picks and bans because it's so important for them. To get the summer finals under their belt here in Valencia is such a big milestone, especially when the next one is Worlds.
Yeah, like I said, you don't really just start at the top and ban the good stuff here. You gotta ban what your opposition wants to use as far as their personal play style and the composition and their strategy that they're growing. The Nemesis has been banned here by Rival because of the double warrior composition you see on the left side of the screen. The Odin ban, however, Graham, that you mentioned, does Dignitas want to go with a healer?
Potentially, especially with him banning Raw as well, I think.
Yeah.
Because that Raw is a bit suspect, but where did they really put that healer? Jungle? No, Raven's there. Solo? No, Bologna's there. Kronos is possibly mid, which means you have to run a healer in support, or, I don't know, maybe, but maybe they're just worried about the lockdown potential from Kronos being trapped in that ring and forcing Raven and Bologna every single time.
Exactly, that's also another good point. Bologna and Raven can only really exit that ring by way of their ultimate, so I think that might have been why Dignitas banned that out.
I tell you what, I've seen some Vulcans in my time, and obviously Pretty Prime's name will be at the top of that list. But Wolfie has a disgustingly dangerous Vulcan. And if he gets a chance to just sit in the back line, he could cause a lot of problems for Dignitas in this first game.
Dignitas option in their court, 2 selections, likely the dual lane, although we said Kronos does flex a little bit Arkle, not exactly known for the Magical Hunter. Where do you, well, it's going to be the Rom.
Kill. I mean, he had Hoagie available, which we saw him play some this tournament already, but business as usual. Rom is where he really shone previously and got himself onto this Dignitas team, in my opinion. And now it's all up to what Trixtank is going to play, or is it potentially the Bellona Raven in that support role? This last pick will tell us all that information.
I mean, we've seen Trixtank play virtually everything. It'll be the Sobek, a little bit classic, coming out. Y'all know that I love the Crocodile.
Well, funny enough, we've not seen too much of Trixtank on that recently. It's been a while since he's brought it back into play again. I think it's something that they've been practicing a lot and holding for this event specifically.
Ice Baby is on your screen, and likely who Rival's picking for Kernanos, Fafnir, Arlong Shen, and Vulcan. What do you think complements this squad the best?
Realistically, looking down the line, I mean, there's plenty of options available to them in the jungle position if that Arlong Shen is not in the jungle. Nemesis is obviously taken away from the table. Camazot's maybe? No, the Cat. First time this tournament, I believe.
This is actually really scary. Ice Baby is one of these junglers that has the potential to carry a game, and Serket is one of those characters.
Well, right now, these guys are going to get themselves loaded into that game. But what I want to know from this crowd here today, do you think this game's going to go to Dignitas? No.
Or how about Team Rival?
Wow, okay. Definitely a rival crowd here today. We like underdogs here in Spain. Let's see how they do up against Dig.
You know, it's really interesting to me the crowd's behind Rival, because Dignitas is the team that, on paper, I think everybody sort of votes for automatically. That's the default. Oh no, I really want my FP. Let's go black and gold. But Rival, you can never really sort of count them down and out. The squad has a lot to do with themselves and a lot to do with victory that nobody really expects, and then they sneak their way to the finals. So.
Well, the coaches have just left off stage. Biggie for Dignitas and Alpha Jackal from Rival. And I wonder how they'll be feeling about their two drafts here. Did they get everything they wanted? Are they surprised at all? The only one that could really tell us that is the game itself.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, both teams are definitely happy with their draft. Rival obviously wanted the Nemesis, but you have to predict that it's going to be banned out. So I think that's the only thing that the teams might have wanted. Settling, quote unquote, for a Serket, not a bad deal.
Well, it's time to get into game one. 5 games, and this will be the first, and hopefully we'll go all 5 all the way through. It is indeed going to be zeros in that mid lane on the Kronos.
Yeah, I mean, this character for this guy, just out of control. Maybe not at first. Maybe not level 2, maybe not level 3. But you see me in 15 minutes as zeros, and then watch out, he's cranking it.
Well, we've seen a lot of shenanigans at a Rival this week, and at the start of one of the games yesterday, he didn't do a little bit of a sneaky hiding strategy. I wonder if he's going to try that again. But to be fair, Dignitas should have done their homework.
I'm very interested in this beads selection. 4 purification beads on the side of Dig, obviously a teleport for variety. I kind of like the idea of an Aegis, but the crowd control a little bit too scary for Dignitas pre-level 12.
I do agree, the Aegis could come into play and help them out a little bit, but these beads, it's all about, I guess, escaping the knockups potential, the hammers, and obviously the Serket ultimates and the kisses that could cause so many problems. But look at Rival, starting at those oracles.
The vision here on the left-hand side is going to be extremely important. Yeah, sure, golden experience is very nice, and there's the secure. But the vision, Dignitas is going to have to be very careful about their pathing and how they pay attention to the left side of the map.
Both junglers level 2, along with the mid laners right now. Variety's going to link up with Cubo Fred here. And Cubo Fred is really the story for me in this game up against Ice Baby. Cubo's tournament has been fantastic, and we were talking about him all last year, Tom, potentially taking Adepton's crown. Wasn't to be, but maybe this year is his year.
I mean, I see what you did there. Watching Cubo develop in this new year, right side, a lot of action, however. I think it's just going to be a little bit of poke.
Beautiful kisses from Baby, but he takes a lot of damage and has to dip away before Variety ends up hitting with that bludgeon. But good early pressure, really, from Rival, because you can see Ice can actually leave the lane if he wants, or maybe sneakily come back in.
There's a little bit of help. Cubo Fred, oh, Ice is back. Never can keep him out of your mind. Oh, nice flip kick to avoid the kiss. And the zigzag has to be used defensively.
So now push power is in Dignitas' favor. There's no real jungle up, though, and that's why both the junglers have kind of hanged around for a little while. Speed buff is the only thing available for Dignitas. With them getting that little bit of push power against Rival there, it's going to be an easy way for them to pick that up, and it's allowing Zeros to get more farm on his own.
That's why we see him pick up the Bumba's mask. A lot of people kind of have that question. I see it a decent amount on Reddit and chat. The more camps that you're going to solo yourself as that mid laner, it lets you clear it quicker and obviously, you know, benefit from the other side of the mask. So Zero's going to be doing a lot of stuff by himself, so he opts for that decision.
And that's the big key here, is getting Kronos to level 5. Because he really struggles in the early game pre-level 5 from the gank potential.
And it's interesting because with Kronos, the level 5 is not necessarily about obtaining rewind, although sure, that's absolutely a bonus. For real, it's about getting a couple of extra points in those abilities, because once you get rewind and your 2 abilities running, or excuse me, accelerate, and your 2 abilities running, you clear the wave for free as long as you make use of that passive.
Relatively even over in the dual lane right now. Both the supports and hunters, very similar builds too. Bumba's masks for the hunters for extra sustain in the jungle, and Watchers and Lonos for some stacks as time goes on. One thing I do notice though is Callus with that sprint.
Yeah, you got to get the sprint. So many slows looking directly at Mr. Robin, want to get away from that. Robin jumps on everybody, you can sprint away. But also, knowing Team Rival, that sprint is probably more going to be used aggressively.
And you mentioned it was to try and get away potentially from Robin, played by Cubo Fred yesterday. He made Robin look like Jabberwocky in the late game. 15-minute Robin running, you're not normally as scared as Cubo made you feel when you watch that set against Energy.
And the key here is obviously any player that plays the God is going to have the same numbers at their disposal, as long as you buy the right items. What made Cubo's Fred so scary was his pathing and his dedication to diving the backline.
Well, the mid laners as well, talking about their builds as it stands. You can see the Book of Toth once again for Wolfie. We've seen a lot of the soul trap starts coming up from some of the mid laners. Risky yet very rewarding if you can get away with it in the early stages. And the mid laners these days, they don't get aggressed on too quickly just yet.
Yeah, I mean, no players have had any desire to really start a fight. Over there in the solo lane, there was a little bit after the nice kiss that Ice Baby landed, but after that, it was kind of just leave him alone. Different story right here, but a beautiful selection of abilities by Bologna.
Out he goes with the Eagles rally, but Walker waiting, and there's first blood for the purple-hooded rival.
You do not want to give a Serket first blood. The nice thing about Serket is that it takes a while to get online. Not if you give it the first kill.
No, indeed, and now that should be a chance for her to accelerate further into the lead. No pun intended, as he collapses onto Zeros, gets the beads, and look at what Wolfie just threw off there with that ultimate. I love the fact he trusted in his jungler, and Zeros had an idea that could be coming.
I was just going to say that, Handyman. I have no beef with the missed ultimate. You have to hard commit when you've got that sort of crowd control. The second you hesitate is the second you drop that kill the next time. And I say the next time because now that Zeros has those beads on cooldown, Rival are going to visit that lane again.
700 gold ahead of Rival now. Most of that coming from the first blood, but a little bit extra just coming from the petition of farming a little bit better as a team. The experience, though, we'll see how that looks, because it's very important to just keep an eye on where the experience leads are. And in the mid lane, it's on Vulcan for now, even though Zeros has had more time farming on his own.
Trixang showing up in the mid lane alongside Zeros. I don't think he's going to get the lucky flip at all. And I love that. As soon as Team Dignitas realized it's a 3-on-2, no desire to walk up. Just let you do your thing. We'll play it safe.
As she said, Swiftwing there for Callus. That's very interesting. But on the right now, because the Rival setting up for a potential gank, looking towards Arkil, who's already rolled. Beads are down, and a great gank again from Ice Baby. Rotating everywhere. He gets a kill over the solo lane. Mid lane beads burn. Hunter beads burn. Great plays so far from Ice.
I know you all want to watch the action, but sometimes you got to watch the items. 54, well, that's a teleport, but 73 and 144 on the mid lane and the Hunter's relics, respectively. That's what Rival are looking for. Send.
Hello. Big old ultimate, but rewind from Zeros. Still in trouble, and a second kill for Team Rival. Tricks and Cubo going in, trying to put more pressure on. Arkil with a snipe trying to clean it up, and Cubo claims the life back. Tricks isn't done on the Sobek, as now Variety's coming round the corner. Big old Eagles rally, and and Wolfie's gonna fall down, but the Scouse is in trouble. The tower's doing work, and there's Deathwalker to claim a kill back.
In the right side jungle, however, Cubo Fred has a meal of his own in his sights. Ice Baby has done a ton of work, but it's the mid lane where Deathwalker gets the double kill.
We've not stopped because Cubo Fred gets another. It's 3-4. And classic EU, it's all tactical form, and then we blow each other up.
Just back and forth, back and forth. The response kills, so important for both of these teams. I love the dedication for Cubo Fred to chase down the jungler, however. He could have assisted and perhaps prevented some of those deaths in the mid lane. But because Ice Baby has had such a fantastic early game on that scary circuit, it's paramount that Cubo Fred shuts him down when he gets the opportunity. That was the opportunity, and he took it.
7 minutes in, 7 kills. Nice little start to this game, and the pace has now been set. The question is who really has the lead so far, F-Dub? Because, yeah, we saw the Force Blood to rival, and yes, they're up a kill, but are Dignitas uncomfortable right now?
Nobody's comfortable, and nobody's going to be comfortable until somebody lifts up that trophy. This is a rough set for both teams because both teams are extremely talented, and you know, that's one of those old competitive sports cliches, but we've watched Energy clean everybody up time and time again. This is a very different story.
Well, both the Hunters have been given the red buff so far. They continue to do so, but once again, Ice is dictating the pace on this circuit. Surprisingly enough, when he's up against someone like Raven in the jungle, who should be setting the pace a little bit quicker, obviously the circuit early game can be very beneficial and fortuitous, and he's been the one that started all these engagements.
And that's the key, is that Ice Baby Circuit doesn't really... Circuit comes into herself the later the game goes for a number of reasons. But what we're seeing out of Ice Baby is a different play style. He's depending on the crowd control instead of the damage numbers.
Right-hand side, Variety under pressure from Deathwalker as Ice was starting to make the rotation, but at the same time, Cubo denied Ice the option to do so. Variety will hold on, and a good little counterplay for Cubo.
Keep in mind, Bologna's ultimate still down from the last time Ice Baby visited this lane. That's a very important reason, and why we see Team Rival on the right side.
And if anything, that's now a nice little boon for Dignitas, because Deathwalker's ultimate is on cooldown, and Variety's ultimate is going to be up before that, meaning we may see Cubo Fred start to visit Deathwalker in the solo lane.
All right, now Variety's getting handled by Deathwalker just by his lonesome, but Cubo Fred lurking on the backside like you mentioned.
And look where the junglers are right now. They're both in the same position. Bad news bears, though. Cubo's got 3 on him, make that 4, but he will get away towards Trix, and a good escape from him. Trade of ult for ult between the junglers.
Nice stuff coming out of Cubo. And see that right there? Both teams had the exact same mentality. All right, yeah, my solo laner's ultimate is down. Let's try to make the counterplay.
Variety up against Deathwalker. Still going to be a boxing match between the two, but both quite comfortable for now. The most interesting thing for me, looking at the builds, they're almost identical in most of the positions. Look at the Hunters, pretty much going exactly the same path all the way through. That's a fighting build for both of them.
I was just about to say that. There's a lot of different builds you can go in this long lane on the Hunter role. Sometimes we see lifesteal, sometimes we see just an all-out rush of power by way of Shifter Shield. The Ikaval says, fight me. Arkle and Vote, absolutely the personification of Ikaval. They just want to fight all day.
Well, not a real surprise to see where all the kills are so far. Cubo Fred and Ice Baby bring it to us, along with Variety and Deathwalker following suit. And those guys, they are the early game powerhouses, because the longer this game goes on, that's where we'll see the mid laners and the Hunters start to enter the fray and supersede their counterparts.
See right here at 10 minutes, these teams are looking more for the secondary bonus of the Oracles than the actual golden experience. Splitting any camp 4 ways, not exactly the most efficient, but that vision, so important.
Kill under pressure and the bead's already down. Has to take to the sky, trying to buy time. That's why he's not firing the shots. Look at the mini-map and you'll see Sobek and Kronos on the way. And that's why Rival didn't go aggressive there. Worried about the rotation, the calls were made. Good defensive play from Dignitas, very wise from Rival.
Actually, I
don't
think
like it?
Arkle could have done... No, I like it. I think Team Rival might have been able to pick up Arkle there, but I think at this moment in time, play it safe rather than play it sorry.
Well, level 12 is starting to come through. You can see Deathwalker, highest level in the game right now at level 13. And when you think about this kid as well, I thought, You look at him, he's up against Variety, and everyone's been singing Variety's praises since the World Championships. People were saying he was MVP of Worlds, even though his team lost to Energy.
Yeah.
But now, he's up against Deathwalker, who's, once again, got a lead against someone that people wouldn't have expected.
And like I said before, for me, it's so much the outside of the game stuff. It's the mentality, it's the swagger, and it's the way they approach the game. Variety is one of these players that has to sort of think, you know, I'm the greatest. Cut that.
No. He's got caught on the wraparound, yeah. But I love what Ice Ice is doing. He's in the right lane, he's in the left lane, he's in the mid lane. There's like 4 circuits on this map right now.
No Morrigan, she was banned out.
It feels like it. Anyway. Imagine if it was a Morrigan from Wolfie too, then we could really see some fireworks with that many circuit positions.
But you bring up a great point, and that's kind of what Ice Ice does. He's always all over the map, omnipresent. That's what makes him so scary.
Trickstank could be in a scary position there, but luckily enough, and I think Callus's hammer was just down and Ice Ice couldn't reach, but hello. Cheeky Gold Fury Corn, that's dropping very quick.
Between Fafnir and the Vulcan, nobody's feeling that. There's the Gold Fury.
Stolen away by Dignitas. They take the Gold Fury. How did they manage to do that?
They have all the tools in the world. Vulcan Ultimate and the Fafnir. How did Dignitas snatch that away?
Well, the good news for Dig is they recognized the issue and they committed immediately, turned it around, and now Rival, they're going to have to sit back once more and go, what do we do? What do we do here? Because we just had a chance for a lead, and we've given that to Dignitas.
I still can't believe what just happened over there on that objective. Zero's looking around by the Portal Demon, not going to be the case there. Team Rival instead collapsing here. That Gold Fury, kind of a big deal here.
Well, Trickstank was starting to rotate around towards mid then, but he saw Ice Ice Baby and changed his mind. He's going to be very careful in this Sobek until he's got a few more tank items online. Yes, he's got that Hide of the Urchin on right now, which is very beneficial for him. For the time being, all is good.
Nice stuff here as we pass 13 on the clock. Team Rival, and like I said, that Gold Fury seal, so important, because Team Rival was starting to build this lead, starting to really get off the ground. Dignitas, with that one play, snatches it back, tie game.
Well, Kivo Fred's coming over to the dual lane now to try and assist Arkle a little bit after that last little gank endeavor. You can see Vote has taken a tumble so far, continuing to farm up on that Kurnanos, which people are saying is still very, very strong, but we've just not seen the performances so far in professional play.
Yeah, I mean, Kurnanos is one of these guys that he just, you know, it's very different in pro play and your play at home. He just doesn't do it for me on the big stage. In the hands of Vote, might be a different story. Trickstank is looking for a block.
He is, but he's got to be very careful because the amount of poke Zeros just took there from that hammer backfire combo, which I have to say, I love the fact that Wolfie is just trusting in his team so much.
Oh, yeah.
And setting up these positions, and he knows he's going to get the CC, and so he's trying to follow the power. Very, very good game so far, and that top damage, I'm ignoring the solo laners because the solo laners...
Fake damage.
It's Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah, I mean, he's all over the map. I said that he was depending on the crowd control more than the damage, but he's going to put it out as well. Already above 5K with his the next person.
Oh, Arkle, a little bit too far forward there, Sunshine. But it's a tricky bait, because round the back comes Cubo Fred. The Great Dane is here, and Arkle gets the kill.
Not done just yet. 2 players in the jungle. Callus is going to back off here. Ice Ice makes the call that there's a larger rotation coming. Callus won't set it up for his jungler. 4-4 after Team Dignitas find the kill on their hunter.
And now Rival's going to be a little bit more careful now, because when they are looking for pressure onto Arkle, Arkle's putting himself out of position almost on purpose there, because he knows he's got teammates coming.
Exactly.
And Vote is one of these players that is so aggressive that he will just be caught like a deer in the headlights because he just wants to kill so many times.
Yeah, you can really get these players to see red, and that's where Deathwalker's... Oh, the missed block. The miss.
Just got away, and Deathwalker managed to make Trickstank panic enough to force the ultimate out. 4 members of Rival pushing forward towards Trix, but he's gonna get away from the danger.
Cubo Fred left the party. He saw something that we didn't. I thought this was gonna be a full commit from Rival, and it looks like it might be. There's the attack on the tower, very low as Destructor's HP. Wrapping around the backside, Cubo Fred just to shove the enemies off of the tower.
Just push them back a little bit and buy yourself a window of opportunity for a time. Make sure they don't get that tier 1 tower for free. I do love the fact that Rival went for the tower over looking for a fight, because towers lead to victory. Objectives is where the game really is all about.
Yeah, listen, you kill a solo laner, he comes back in, what, 15, 20 seconds at this point in the game. You kill a tier 1 tower, he comes back in game 2.
Mid lane Zero's under pressure, kissed again. He don't like those sort of kisses, I'll tell you that, because it cost him his beads.
I love Callus. The bees are on cooldown. He goes, yeah, stun. There's no follow-up.
Job done.
It's just Kala saying, I gotcha.
I would have hit that hammer anyway, but it's also for the Traveler's Shoes, don't forget, that he's got a line, so he just gets those gold passes every time. Fafnir's a greedy little dwarf, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Kala's here, just looking to start something in the jungle, but nobody from Team Dignitas really there or local. Instead, it's all about the solo lane. These guys are not going to stop fighting all afternoon.
Talking about that solo lane, 2 mystical males for each of them, 1 for each, I should say. Gladiator's Shield, however, for Deathwalker, which works so well because he spams those abilities on cooldown where he can, and it gives him that nice little bit of extra sustain, whereas Variety has that from the Scourge already.
I love the Gladiator Shield mainly because of the price. At 1,800 gold, it's just such an efficient bridge item. Deathwalker used to be building the starter item, Mark of the Vanguard here. But the Kiss is strong, Zigzag's good, forces the ultimate out of Variety.
And Deathwalker might look a little bit more pressure, but the bad news is Trickstack has just rotated over. Rival just relinquished the pressure there, knowing they got what they wanted, which was the Eagles rally away from Variety, meaning it's Deathwalker's advantage in the lane once again for now, and once again, he still has this level lead.
Hugo and Arkle, they're pushed up far, and they know it. They're looking to get somebody by themselves.
They want
come
both.
out of that purple.
They want both MBK, but meanwhile, Rival want zeros. Bit of miscommunication, no. The Vulcano was off timing there, and it's going to allow zeros to rewind and play safe, but the collapse is on its way. Cuba around the back, looks for Wolfie, can't find it, jumps it instead. He's having none of that, says Wolfie. Arkle wants to clean up crew, but the Aegis will keep him alive.
Arkle stuck in the middle, rolls back to safety. Both of these teams made a couple of mechanical mistakes. Left side, or mid lane, if that Kiss hits zeros, he's toasted. The ultimate comes a little too soon to shove him out. No death there. Team Rival make the same mistake on their own tower. Ultra pulled and leashed, half HP.
And it's all focused onto Callus now. He is on that Fafnir, remember?
Nice
has
job.
the ultimate available, but he wants to keep hold of it. That Dragon Form's so important for the turnaround play, but now a couple of members of Rival are at half health. Variety turns up on the front line, just gonna tank up a storm for his team. Remember, Zeros does not have any beads, no Aegis, and no ultimate. Very risky for it to seem that far forward without any of those available.
Yeah, beads are gonna be up right about now. So we should be a little bit safer in the next coming fight, but the lack of Aegis, a very big deal. Ice Baby gonna deliver so much damage as he continues to go along this build. Already has the cooldown reduction by way of the Jotun's Wrath, and he's not gonna be slowed down by Kilo Fred at all, thanks to the Windblade.
So far, so good for both these two teams. It's still a balanced game between the two. Slight lead as it stands for Dignitas at around 600 gold, I'd say. Overall, actually, it's a little bit more than about 800 gold now. Oracle's due to spawn, and the ward coverage is definitely there already for the two teams, but it's more about the experience from these Oracles rather than the ward control.
Yeah, early game, the ward control, very important. Now that we're here at minute 20, you got a little extra gold to actually spend on the physical wards. You can really deal with that. You're looking to make sure that you can get ahead by way of the experience, as
Callus
mentioned.
up against Trickstack, and Callus really throwing the hammer once again to get those gold stacks from his boots. Same can be said for Trickstack. He's going to be doing the same sort of thing. The extra mobility will help him to transition the map a little bit better. You can't complain about a bit of free HP 5 as well.
Yeah, I mean, gotta go fast. That's really what I'm looking for. Sobek zooming around the map, able to come through, find the plug, serve it up. That's what Trickstack is trying to do right here.
Good sentry ward there, down by Dignitas. Just trying to cover the option, make sure that Cubo could potentially wrap around the back, throw somebody out of the way, and make sure they don't know that the sneakings could come. But Rival know it's there too now. And the big key is ward coverage between these two teams.
Right now here, a little bit of a lull in the action while our players are looking for their next big sort of power spike, whether it be by item level or otherwise. 2 players in red on the middle lane, 3 players in blue. Team Dignitas, however, can't go right in, mainly because of that Vulcan turret.
It's all just focused on farming for the time being. The way this game's gone so far, it's been so even. Nobody's really given up anything overall. When you get one, it's been answered back. Then the other team goes in, answered back again. Speedbuff not available for Ice Ice, but this wraparound could catch Variety out of position.
I like it. He caught the dash, but no follow-up. Communication was set. I think Rival thought Dignitas had more players in the jungle, but that was a lonesome Variety.
Cubo now wrapping around towards mid lane, might be able to catch Ice Ice with the pressure in mid, but Ice Ice won't go through the mid lane as expected. He'll wrap around between his tier 1 and tier 2, taking the safer option.
Yeah, just no reason at this point to really step out of position. Nice controlled play coming out from Ice Baby. Now again, Team Rival grouping up in this mid lane, waiting for things to pop off.
Waiting indeed, but that's all it's about now, is the wait and patience. But the junglers, they are not patient. Ice Baby looking for Arkil again. Arkil, he got eager eyes then, and you don't want to get hungry eyes either because he's forced to use his ultimate and his beats defensively. Cubo's going to turn up to try and show some moral support. It's okay, buddy. If they would have got you, maybe I would have turned it round again.
When it comes down to that play, not about the vision, just the intuition. No wards on the left side. Players just knew if you're going to come and you're going to play that aggressively, you got to have support in the wings.
So far, the only win that we've seen so far in this game is that gold fuel that Dignitas stole away from Rival. The next one has already respawned, and Rival won't be making the same mistake twice, that is for sure, because it's causing so many problems.
5 wards coming out from Team Dignitas across the map. You can see that right side of the map so heavily occupied, but the left side of the map, Arkil's gonna get in trouble. Zigzag deals the damage, and there's the ultimate, allowing Ice to go under the tower, find the basics, and find the kill.
The Piggy was there, and the Piggy squealed, but now Trickstank has made the rotation, as has Callus, and in the jungle, there is a fight breaking out once more. Wolfie's doing his best, that's an impression he can, but the fists from Cubo are just too good for the guy in the mid lane.
And it's just gonna continue. One goes down, and the support looks to be next. Can they catch
He's got his ult. Why is Callus not using his ult?
There's just no reason to. He knows he's gonna go down. Zeros claims the life. Ice all alone. Jumps over the wall, nice play.
6-5, and Dignitas starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Once again, Rival are the ones that engage. Once again, Dignitas answer back, and they're looking to find their second gold Fury. Deathwalker, only real member of Rival here. Only way he can really steal is from a ranged pin, if anything, and that's why Trickstack is there. Zone duty, so important.
And look at the respect that Team Dignitas is doing here. This Gold Fury goes down so much faster if you have everyone collapsing on the objective itself. It's just Deathwalker, but very rarely does just Deathwalker be said, and it all comes out positive. So they sent 2 separate players to go zone just for one, continuing to guarantee the absolute objective. Because of that, Dignitas find themselves up a clean 2,000 gold.
But as I said earlier on, it's all been about the solo lanes, and realistically now, the junglers that have been the ones that have dictated the pace. These hunters are getting to max level. Arkil now level 20, and Vote is not too far behind at all. Those chins online, Tom, those builds now coming through, there's gonna be problems.
Here's the thing though, Graham, I'm a little bit more afraid of Arkil's Rom in these late moments of the game. He can stand so far back and use that ultimate as damage and can really control a team fight from literally out of reach of Team Rival.
Plenty of love taps between the two teams there around the Portal Demon. No one really wanted to give up an inch or a mile, but once both the teams show up at the same time, it's business as usual. Back to farming a little bit. Trick's gonna eat a hammer and just continue with his pressure. Keep an eye on Cubo, just placing the wards down there. The dance has begun at the Portal Demon.
Yeah, this is the second chapter, maybe third chapter of our game here, where all of the attention starts to be shifted to the right side of the map. The Portal Demon allows players to get in a position a little bit better, and that's why we see it so heavily contested. Rival gets the objective.
Not stolen away this time whatsoever, and immediately look what Rival do. Turn tail and run. Not because they're scared, but because they got what they wanted. That's golden experience in their pocket, and they can always come back.
There's something scary about it. So Cat jumping over the wall with all the team there as well. Tier 1 tower is going to be the target. Zeros does not get the luxury of playing for it. Nice and easy. Rival retreat, right on back.
Finds variety. Was a little bit too far forward here. Deathwalker's trying to close the gap with the Minkum. Will find the pin, but as soon as Cubo Fred shows his face, Dignitas and Rival fall back to their own halves of the map. So far, only one Tier 1 tower down in that right-hand lane in favor of Rival. The mid one, though, is about to fall anytime soon. Just a strong breeze would blow that down.
Right now, Team Rival trying to Find whatever it takes to really come back and bite Team Dignitas. I specifically said find whatever it takes and bite Team Dignitas. They're not trying to fight their way back into this one. They're not trying to climb out from under a hole. 2000 is the notion of a lead.
Now, isometric didn't get the gank on Variety then, but what he did do is give information that Variety was in base. And so rival group is 5 in mid lane.
Watch Cubo.
Round the corner is Cubo Fred looking to try and cause an issue.
Watch Variety.
And now the Variety has teleported in. Rival recognized their window of opportunity was running out. They called it a day and walked back to their own half of the map.
Rivals seem like they just have eyes in the back of their head. There's no way to tell that there's that teleport in from the solo lane. You just have to have that intuition, understanding they're not going to let us do this forever, right?
Sure, and that's a big stage for this as well. One interesting thing I do like to see is the builds coming out from both the Hunters are all penetration focused. No crits coming through this game.
Oh, wait.
It's all about attack speed, pen, much as you can. And to be fair, when you're playing Kernos and Rama, it's exactly what you want to do.
Especially on the side of Team Rival, double tanks coming out for Team Dignitas, triple if you count Bologna, and you just want to use those chin sides to slowly chip down those big HP pools.
I swear, I love seeing Ice play this circuit today, because all he's doing over and over again is kisses up, find a kiss.
Yeah.
Over and over. Can he get beads? Is somebody going to rotate in? Pressure, pressure, pressure. Very, very strong, especially when he's been against this man, Cubo Fred, who's been having such a fantastic time of things in this tournament so far. Big boots to fill to go up against this guy. And you can see Ice doing a good job just holding this lane for Deathwalker to get back in time.
Yeah, Ice's job this whole game has been strip beads, strip the ultimate, and then maybe we find the follow-up kill after the fact. So even in minute 27, continuing to do the same thing.
Minute 27, and this is classic Europe. They'll have skirmishes, they'll have big fights, and it normally takes a lot for a team to really lose that edge and actually give a team a big enough window to call it a substantial lead. Normally, it's around a fire giant fight or a big old 5-on-5 team fight. And I think the fans at home, as well as the crowd here, are all just waiting for that one huge moment.
Might come soon, 4 players grouped up for Team Dig. Not willing to make the move just yet. Usually this is the moment where the Sobek looks for the opportunity, but that Collis is so on point, he's gonna get that dash interrupted.
And look at where Ice was again, looking towards the speedboat, trying to strip it away. But once again, Dig know their own timers. They know that they'll be hunting for those buffs. So 3 men respond. Rapid response was there.
Oh, yeah.
And it was most certainly required.
Zero's still just looking for the farm, level 19 on this Chronos. He's already scary, making his way towards the Rod of Tahuti. Gonna be even scarier there once he finishes that. Once he finishes that Rod, I think he's gonna go directly for the kills.
Gold Fury is about to be started by Rival, or at least a little pick towards Trickstack, or maybe even Arkil. Ice takes the brunt of the damage from that engagement, though. He ate a lot more damage than he expected from Arkil, and this is because we've not seen the Hunters. They don't recognize the damage.
Rival is doing a very good job of forcing Trickstack's dash out defensively. Sobek's a character that wants to stay aggressive, wants to get in your face, and the more and more you put that dash on cooldown to make him run away, the more you guarantee that he's not going to initiate on you and throw you into the middle of his team.
Well, left-hand side, a bit of pressure onto the tier 1 tower from Dignitas, but Vote was there to defend. Variety going to disarm 2 members, Callus and Deathwalker respectively, but no one's giving up an inch.
Collis.
The bad news is, though, is Arkil is really hurting with these autos.
Collis missed the stun right there. That's a big deal. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dignitas make a move in the next 3 seconds or so.
Oracle's going to get split, left-hand Harpy's going to go the way of Dignitas. And so we're going to dance with both teams just not wanting to make a mistake. We could be in. I'm not going to say it now. We could be in for one of the longest games of SMITE.
Is this, are our teams playing overcautious?
Yes. What, finals here in Valencia? Some of DreamHack finals, you want to win on this stage in front of this crowd, because the crowd's going to go mental for whoever wins this first one. And if you give up an inch, the team could potentially just snowball that with momentum and take the whole set.
This is a best of 5 here as Variety gets hit by Ice Baby a little bit. And when it comes down to sort of the science of the series, Graham, I don't think game number 1 really dictates the series as most people would. I think it's all about game number 2. Whoever wins here, Wolfie in trouble.
Aegis is already down, and look at the rapid response from Rival.
Nice
2
response.
members, 1 from the right, 1 from the left, and stuck in the middle was Wolfie, but he had enough defense.
I think whoever wins game number 1 here sets the tone of the series, and then whoever responds with the win in 2 is how you have to look at the rest of the series. Right now, You got to look at the tower or where it once stood. 500 gold in the pocket for Team Dignitas.
And look at how Dignitas did that, because they got that because they poked out Wolfie. Now they turn their attention towards the Gold Fury, but the fight is underway. Big vaulted on Fury, but it's not going to hit anybody. Meanwhile, the Gold Fury is stripped. Foe stole the gold. Foe stole the gold. Arkill's angry. He's sniping the best to try and turn this around, but Cubo's bleeding. He's going to get out of there. Callus falls down. Double kill for Variety. He's looking for the third, but they've got to fall back. And once again, Rival did a Gold Fury, Dig steal it away. Dig do a Gold Fury, we can do it too.
Absolutely. Can't count either of these teams out when it comes to the objective secure. Portal Demon started up by the blue squad.
So even for the time being, but obviously the Portal Demon, especially at 30 minutes, is a small window of free teleports towards this Fire Giant pit. They can go back, find these wards they need, get them down as quick as possible, and then make sure they've got vision and control of the Fire Giant, because that's where the attention will turn now.
All the attention is honestly on Team Dignitas. They keep taking these steps forward, right? They keep making these strides, they keep making these plays, but Rival is there just saying, listen, you're not allowed to continue. Dignitas starts Fire Giant.
So low here, but Cubo and Bright is low, but Dig, get the Fire Giant. Arkill takes out Ice and pushes forward. After the kill, everybody on Dig falls back again. Why did Rival give that up so easily?
Rival didn't realize and then couldn't get in. Here's the biggest problem for me. I think that's going to be a big moment, because that's the first unanswered play by Team Dignitas. I was just talking about it. Dignitas keep making these steps, and Rival says no. Dignitas make a step, Rival said no. That Fire Giant, Rival said nothing at all.
Wait, what? The surprising thing there for me was how quick this game has turned on its head now, because with this Fire Giant, they can start to slaughter the towers. Rival have to fall back. It's been a cautious game between the two. And as it stands with how it's looking now, the Phoenix is under threat. No zeros just yet to come in here, as Callus going to get a good hammer off and ult defensively to push out Dig for a moment. Wolfie's not done. Half health for Tricks.
Ultimate.
Lower health.
Sprint is popped. Rival want to chase down this fight. Girdle means go as well. Variety's surrounded. Variety jumps away.
And he's out.
He's gone. Nice. Safe.
Everybody gets away, but Rival hold on to what they wanted. They need to defend that Phoenix.
That was just, I mean, Variety, all he did was really rally here, right?
Yeah.
You gotta just wiggle your way into that situation. Love to see Variety get out of there. And you saw Team Rival, we talked about seeing red. That's exactly what happened. That ultimate hit on a Wolfie. Sprint, Girdle, go get him. And Variety's just laughing his way to the bank. Fire Giant regen helping him out. His team's gonna go ahead back to base.
Tell you what, coming into this one so far with how it's looking, 3-2, so could be the scoreline at the end of this, because that's what a lot of people were saying as time went on. 9-5 is the score, however, at the moment in terms of kills, but it's not all about the kills as it stands. It's about how you play in the later stages now. The respawns get longer and longer.
It's about the gold too. 4,000 gold at a half-hour play, very important, and a much bigger deal than it might let on. At 30 more minutes, the 4,000 gold is going to start finishing up your big sort of first luxury items.
The biggest issue in this game so far is generally down to the fact that in the early game, Rival have Gold Fury advantage here because they've got Wolfie on the Vulcan and the Kernanos. The problem is that as the game goes on, though, Dignitas, they get control because of Kronos and Arkill's late game being so strong for Dig. On the left-hand side with that tier 1 falling, I did like the dance we saw Ice in mid lane there. Very unusual to see him like dancing with Variety, trying to keep him busy.
Team Rival going to cut him off as they try to retreat to the tier 2 tower. Wolfie tosses the ultimate. Minimal damage. There's Kimo Fred jumping his way to the back line, keeping Wolfie out of the way so he can't hit that backfire.
Ice Baby was thinking about going in there, but immediately just decided not to. Going to look to back to base instead. Bit surprising to see that, because for some reason Dig had an idea that's what was going on, and that ward in the jungle just near the purple gave that away.
I'm a little unhappy with how much hesitation Team Dignitas is showing, although they have to. Rival is scary, even with the Fire Giant on the side of Team Dig. They have no minions. They have to depend on the raw ability to tank these towers, and Rival is just not letting them in, as I said, even with that Fire Giant.
So they hold again. They held their Phoenix on the right. They hold their tier 2 on the left for the time being. But the Oracles will go the way of Zeros, just adding to the bank and the coffers of Team Dignitas as it stands. But Dig aren't done. They still want this left-hand tier 2 tower. The Fire Giant buff is still on them, and keep an eye on Trick's tank. I thought he was going to go round the back, but instead, it's a bit of a switcheroo.
Yeah.
Look to the left, guess what? We're in the middle lane.
Yeah, I really liked how they sort of juggled the minions. You see this happen a lot, and because of that, tier 2 tower gonna go crumble like a cookie, and that one nice and easy.
And straight away, where did it go? Back towards the Gold Fury, back towards the tier 2 tower on the left-hand side. Options are available. The Gold Fury, an easier option, not as deep into the enemy jungle. And it looks like Rival are just going to surrender this one, knowing the Portal Doom and the Fire Giant are up soon. Taking a fight right now could be their own demise.
You know, it's funny. The eye test, that was not a very exciting Fire Giant buff. We didn't really see too many kills. We didn't really see too much action. But if you actually break down the numbers, look at the lead. Team Dignitas has been able to amass almost a 10K lead, just very casually and slowly. You get 2,000 per lane. 500 for tier 1, 1,500 for tier 2. 2, 4, 6, just like that.
Trick's tank forced to ult defensively, but he did get the ult out of Ice Baby. All Demon is dropping, and Variety's here with a bludgeon. Not gonna go the way of Dignitas, though. Rival will indeed secure it. No steal this time. Callus under pressure, but my oh my, Callus is a madman. He holds the ultimate so many times where you think, just ult, so he can leap away straight afterwards with the amazing range the Dragon Form gives you.
I mean, he plays this Fafnir so often, people are so scared of it because he understands the character to the nth degree. He knows exactly how tanky he is with this build. He knows exactly his abilities and what he's going to be able to do. You can't surprise him and make him waste the ultimate.
I'm talking about surprises, seeing Zeros that low down in player damage below Callus right now. I'm not too worried because I'm looking at that build and I'm seeing Book of the Dead and I'm seeing Bancroft's talent. So much sustain that he's going to have to be able to survive these burst combinations that are going to be coming to
And also, the low amount of damage speaks to the low amount of team fights. That's going to change right now as right side Wolf is being chased, collapsed on.
Dead.
That mid laner is gone.
He's already dead, slightly out of position. The wall coverage from Dignitas, that's coming from the gold, giving them the advantage here. Variety still going in, taking on 4. Push back his vote for the time being. Zero steps round to the right-hand side. Deathwalker rooted in place and forced to ult. Gives him time to get to that turtle form and heal back up. Ice came in to buy a minute and run distraction, and that distraction really worked out well for them to fall back again, but it's still all in Dignitas' favor.
Just small steps here, no giant attacks. 2 players zoning, kind of zoning, but the Fire Giant already half HP. Variety dealing with it, gets hit by the ultimate. He's gonna walk away to the right-hand side. Ice Baby taking huge damage from those thorns.
Ice is gonna manage to get away just to safety. And meanwhile though, Arkil doing the Fire Giant with tricks. The crowd recognizing it might not be exciting, but hey, it is when you think about how important that is for Dignitas winning game 1.
See, that's exciting to me because that's the tactical side of SMITE. We always say tactical, and you know maybe it's an overused term, but just shoving the opponent out and separating them from the rest of the team while 1 or 2 players take down the larger objective. I love the way that happened. Rival just weren't allowed anywhere near that situation.
Just want you to keep an eye on Kivo Fred once again. He was very quiet in the early stages. We were talking about all Ice Baby, still not died, but impacting every single kill. I cannot believe that guy can play that level. Hang on a second, Ice just leaped into danger, and hot lava. Zeros delivers the kill. His player damage is growing, and the team of Dignitas are looking towards the tier 2, potentially even Phoenixes.
And that's what I was saying. The player damage is a little deceptive because there just hasn't been an opportunity for Zeros to deliver the player damage. It's not like he's sitting on his hands. There's just nobody to slap. Right there, Zero smacks him back into Tuesday.
Variety gonna go in and cause an issue. Meanwhile, look at where Cubo Fred is. Free Phoenix in the mid lane, thank you very much. And now we turn our attention to the left-hand side. In they go, 1 by 1. But it doesn't matter, Variety will fall. But Arkil may be able to get this Phoenix to at least make his death worthwhile. And I tell you what, that's more important, that Phoenix going down than keeping the whole team alive.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for the team fight there. You're looking for the objective. 4 on 3. Team Dignitas think that they still have what it takes to go ahead and look for the Phoenix. At least they thought it for the moment. Trick's tank lagging behind in the mid lane, coming back into the right, and now poised one more time for a second strike.
Talk about the respawn timers, and look at the Titan being wailed away on by these minions already. That Titan is getting very, very low, and nobody is looking at it from Rival other than Ice Ice, who just respawned. They could look to end here, and I think that's what Dignitas is looking for.
Yeah.
They've seen the weakness, they've seen a chance. The deadly Vipers are coming in. The B, the yellow and blue. So yellow and black.
They're not even going for the fight. They're not even going for the fight. Right for the Titan. Down it goes. Game 1, Dignitas.
0